Hey, what's up, guys? All right, we're back here with the YFZ 450 rebuild, and to get this thing going, what you need to do is go on to finding your manual, the service manual for it, which I did. So this is the service manual for this quad up to, from 09 to 2013. That's what I got. And it has an exploded view of every part. So we got general information. Basically, there's no way of getting through this build unless you've done it a million times without having this breakdown. And it tells you piece by piece and every single torque spec for the engine. All right, here we go with the Cylinder Works top end kit. Everything looks pretty nice. I already opened this up. Got the top end gaskets. Got the jug in here. Looking pretty nice, pretty snazzy. And the pistons in there too. We got a few of the same type of gaskets in here, along with the rest of the gaskets for the rest of the engine, O-rings, all that stuff. And let's see, pull the crank out of here, huh? So this one wants to. This one's looking a little bit more correct. Looks like it's gonna move freely. At this point in the build, we are installing the bearing retainers. Scott just popped in a seal right there. We just heated up the crank bearing, dropping the crank in at this point. Crank's in, brother.
Sure it's in the right way?
I fucking hope so. No backing down now. At this portion, we're installing the transmission gears. Any surface that rides on a bearing, we're putting assembly lube on, just so there's no friction on like startup, getting everything going. Trying to be pretty meticulous at that point there on putting the silicone around the edge of the case. There's not much metal to work with there, and you don't want a bunch of excess running to inside the case. There's a couple of oil passageways also that you want to make sure you don't build up a bunch of silicone on as you're running it around the edges there. Just heated up the other bearing. Might have put a little too much heat on that one actually, but it ended up slipping in there really easy. Everything fell right into place.
What? It's not down all is it?
May or may not have been having a couple of pops. This area of the build is the shift mechanism. Right here I'm lubing up the bearing and setting in the counterweight for the crankshaft. On those two big gears right there, there's a couple dimples, one on each gear that you line up. That nut there, it has a washer that's got a metal flap on it. You bend over after you torque it down. Right here on the crankshaft sticking out there, there's actually your, which you just skipped right by, but your timing chain gear, and then the generator, which I just torqued down. At least part of the generator. The other part is in this side of the case right here that I'm dropping in. There's a couple of seals in this part of the case. I pulled them out. There's probably a snap ring or two in there as well. Ended up pulling all the old stuff out and installing new seals and everywhere inside the whole engine. We're gonna continue on and torque all these bolts down in a star style pattern, bouncing around the case. So I made a little bit of a boo-boo here. I assembled this whole lower end, and this was this is the clutch rod, and it was telling me to put it in way earlier than I tried to, and basically it's too late at this point. So I'm going to take you through why that is not wanting to go in there now, and we'll get that fixed and put back together. But for now, I'm going to have to take this the clutch cover off and pull a few things apart to get to the bottom of that. Alright, so we got the clutch cover off, and then behind that is going to be this here with all these springs, and basically that's what the spring-loaded part of your clutch is. And you got your clutch pads here, and then now the center point here, which is what I was talking about. So if you were to pull this thing out here, you got this, and there's a ball bearing inside there with a rod that goes all the way through the inside of the case to the part where, I don't know if you could see it down there. There's a little bit of a rod sticking out. You can kind of see it in the hole down there. Basically that pushes on that part of your clutch lever, and when you pull on your clutch lever, that's gonna push that rod into the, what do you call it, like the pressure plate, and loosen up on the clutch to where it's gonna free spin. Once you let out of the clutch, that spring's gonna spring closed, and the clutch is gonna engage. So this is a blown up view of what we're looking at there. So you got your clutch cover, your bolts, springs holding the pressure plate together, and then the piece I showed you, ball bearing, and then that rod that goes all the way through the inside of the case.